Are you a woman aged 20 to 35, newly diagnosed with Crohn's disease, or have been suffering with Crohn's for a while and just don't know what to do? If you are, then this video is for you. And no, this isn't a quick fix scheme or magic pill that will get rid of your Crohn's. This is a brand new way of dealing with your condition. A way that will control your symptoms without you having to deep sea dive into endless GP appointments just to be told to take another tablet until your symptoms get worse and worse. This is a 4-step system that will stop you from ever having to live in a queue of people waiting at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning at the GP practice just to see your doctor to do more blood tests for the 120th time, or for them to tell you your blood results are completely normal and nothing's wrong. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Who on earth is this woman talking about Crohn's? What qualifies her to talk about it? What is this new 4-step system that she's banging on about? Well, let me tell you. Hi, my name's Larabe Ahmed and I'm the founder and CEO of Crohn's Larabe. We help women suffering from newly diagnosed Crohn's disease, or who have been suffering from Crohn's disease for a while but have no idea what to do, finally control their symptoms within 120 days. But let me tell you how I actually got here. Over the past few years, not only have I worked as a registered pharmacist, but I've also had a very close and toxic relationship with Crohn's disease myself. But before we get stuck into my Crohn's disease journey, let me first take you back a little bit further. In 2003, at the age of 8, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which I constantly had to get treatments for, which got so bad that I had to be hospitalised multiple times. And so at the end of year 6, when everybody else my age was celebrating the end of primary school, I was getting jabbed with endless needles to control the inflammation in my knees and ankles. And so throughout high school, I was in and out of hospital appointments, doctor's offices and treatment rooms. Feeling confused with all these medications, I decided to pursue a career in pharmacy to get some answers, and so I went off to get my pharmacy degree. Now, you're probably thinking, how on earth does arthritis even fit into my Crohn's disease journey? And here's how. 2 years into my degree, in 2016, I was getting these new weird and not so wonderful symptoms of abdominal pain, nausea, and a lot of diarrhea. Too much information? I know. Now, these symptoms got so bad that in 2017, which was third year of studying pharmacy, I lost 10 kilograms in weight in 1 week. And no, not in the good way. I was throwing up everything I was eating and couldn't get out of bed because of the pain. I was then rushed into hospital for an emergency surgery and was left with a stoma. And that's when I got told, you've got Crohn's disease. That meant I had 2 chronic illnesses in the space of 2 decades, which didn't actually turn out to be a coincidence, because as it turns out, arthritis and Crohn's are actually linked. But in my case, I got the arthritis first, whereas normally the arthritis comes after the Crohn's if the Crohn's isn't controlled. With all this, I felt hopeless, frustrated and just completely exhausted, but I still pushed on to eventually complete my pharmacy degree, which was very challenging whilst also juggling constant changes in treatment and being admitted in and out of hospital like a yo-yo. But nothing worth having comes easy in life, does it? And so, although my journey to becoming a pharmacist was a challenging one, I'm glad it happened how it did, because going through all of this is what has allowed me to now be able to help women suffering with Crohn's disease. But surprisingly, the worst part of all of that wasn't the symptoms, or the illness, or the endless studying. It was a constant, unsolicited advice that I used to get from people when they'd find out about my diagnosis. Like, you need to exercise more, or you just need to eat healthier. I knew someone who tried this magic pill, swears that it cured her Crohn's for good. Or, have you tried yoga yet? I've heard that it completely clears your symptoms. Yes, Auntie G number 120, I have tried yoga. I tried your advice. Now I'm just someone with Crohn's disease that still flares, but has now tried yoga. It's also constantly told you're too young to be sick, or you don't look sick. Yeah, thanks Karen. It's a good thing Crohn's is on the inside of my body and not on the outside. All this advice made me want to say piss off, because it just added even more stress and tension. And you may not know, stress is one of the biggest symptom triggers for anyone who suffers with Crohn's disease. And so I decided to shut out all the noise and focus on me. And so ended up building a framework that allowed me to keep my stress at a minimum. A framework that turned out to be a lot more useful than I thought, because years later I now get to share that exact same framework with other women who also suffer from Crohn's disease. And so overall, it took me 20 years of learning about the body and how to use it to control this terrible condition without endless medications or BS diets or exercise routines that made it worse, not better. I've managed to reduce my own medications and find different coping systems to alleviate stress and anxiety, and as a result haven't been hospitalised in years. All without trying quick fixes or crazy diets. Crazy diets like gym bros telling you to only eat meat. And now I want to use all that knowledge that I have learned over the last 20 years and share every bit of that with you lovely ladies. But let's just pause here for a second, because I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, how can the rope actually help me? And how can I finally get onto the road to control my own Crohn's disease? Well, it's by sharing the steps and the frameworks that I've built over the years that have now become my very own 4-step system. And that's exactly what I'm about to share with you now. But just before I do, let's wait here for a second, because I can see Negative Nancy and Debbie Downer entering the conversation and messaging you saying, this is just another person promising to cure your Crohn's disease. So let me kick them both out of this conversation right now, because I'm certainly not promising to cure your disease, but what I'm about to share with you will not only give you a sense of control over your Crohn's, but will finally give you a sense of control over your life once again. And again, I'm going to do that by sharing my 4-step system, which I call my H.O.P.E Method, because I'm not here to be a chronic illness influencer and coach you on what I did to help me with my Crohn's, and I don't want to give you a false sense of hope. I want to show you how to find things that work for you and are specifically personalised to you and your lifestyle. And that's why my H.O.P.E Method has been built in a way that anyone can use it to apply it to their own unique situation and still get the exact same results that I have. So let me briefly tell you how this method was built. I was going around in circles trying different medications, which seemed to work for a little while, until I'd get an infection and the medication would then need to change. And so I felt like the doctors were just playing Russian roulette with different medications. And that's what led me to build one of the steps in my H.O.P.E Method, which I now call my Pill Skills Framework. This framework allows you to skip the trial and error phase and just go straight to what works for you. Now again, this framework took me over 2 whole decades to build, and I'm sure you can go through the whole trial and error phase yourself, eventually figuring it out after a few years of symptoms, disease progression, and maybe even a few hospital admissions, just like I had to. But if you're anything like me, you probably just want to be handed a solution that will tell you what will work for you and what won't. Imagine not having to spend months or years talking to different doctors, not having to take stacks and stacks of different medications, and actually spend more time doing things that make you thrive, not grieve. Imagine being able to travel, try out different brunch spots without anxiety, spend more time with family and friends rather than hospital admissions or GP appointments. Imagine finally being able to eat foods that fuel you, not cause you fear. That's all possible, and it's so much closer than you think, because that's exactly what my H.O.P.E Method helped me achieve and will help you achieve too. And if you still think that you can no longer live a completely normal life with Crohn's disease, then let's look at those that do. Take Mr. Beast for example, one of the world's most successful YouTubers, making $53 million a month with approximately 400 million subscribers at only 27 years old. Now, he has Crohn's disease himself and is still able to very successfully run a business and travel across the globe. Then there's Louise Thompson from Made in Chelsea, who actually had a stoma after a very traumatic childbirth because of her gut health problems. Not only was she a star on such a popular TV show, but she's now the host of a podcast, an author, and a thriving mother. If these people can live thriving lives with Crohn's disease, then why can't you? And I want you to keep in mind that they're not getting these results and living a Crohn's controlled life by paying endless amounts of money or even any money at all. They're getting to live a Crohn's controlled life by simply following a few basic concepts. Now, instead of me giving you the remaining 3 steps of my H.O.P.E Method over a video where I can't speak with you and get to know you personally, what I'd like to do instead is give you the opportunity to book in a complimentary Crohn's discovery call with myself by clicking the link just below this video. And here's what we'll do on our call together. I'll hand over my H.O.P.E Method blueprint and I'll personally walk you through each step and show you how you can immediately start applying the method yourself, so that you can get onto your way to a Crohn's controlled life straight after the call. We'll figure out what's been holding you back from controlling Crohn's disease, and I'll pinpoint the 3 biggest red flag actions that are affecting you most. And these are usually actions you're not even aware of. And finally, I'll hand over my stressless Lorraine framework that again you can start to apply immediately and fix the single biggest trigger of your Crohn's disease. And if you're wondering why this call is completely free, then here's why. Firstly, I want to take the pressure off. Crohn's is overwhelming enough without worrying about paying for a call. Secondly, this call will give me a chance to hear your story because everyone's experience with Crohn's is different. And so this will allow me to really give you real personalised and tailored help to your situation. I also believe in giving value first, and so at the very least you'll walk away from the call with my full H.O.P.E Method blueprint, a blueprint that has helped me get into remission and stay there. And finally, for those of you who go on the call, I know a few of you will want or even need my own personal help and guidance in applying my H.O.P.E Method after leaving the call, which I do charge a fee for, just so you can get it right the first time. But again, this call is completely free, and you'll get my blueprint regardless of whether we work together or not, along with my stressless Lorraine framework, and so the call will be extremely valuable for you either way. But wait, because as much as I do want to help anyone and everyone, this call is not for those who have random generic bowel symptoms or IBS, and it's certainly not for anyone who thinks I'm going to give you some quick fix diet plans to cure your Crohn's disease. So if that's what you're thinking, then this isn't the right place for you. But if you're a woman who's been diagnosed with Crohn's disease and wants a real sense of hope, then again, I want you to head over to the link just below this video, click the link, pick a date and time in my calendar, and book in that discovery call with me. Now, I just want you to keep in mind that spots are limited because I do invest my own personal time into these calls, and so I'll only be jumping on these calls with the first 25 people who book in that call and understand that chronic conditions only get worse with time and lead to more complications. And for those who understand that they need to take action immediately in order to change the course of their disease before it's too late. Let's finally bridge the gap between what the doctors prescribe and what you live through every day. And so again, I want you to head over and click the link just below this video and book in your slot before my calendar fills up. I'll leave you with this. There is still hope to live a completely normal life whilst having Crohn's disease, and soon you'll be able to eat foods that you enjoy without fear, guilt, or extreme restrictions. Soon you'll be able to spend more time with the people you care about, doing activities that empower you rather than cause you anxiety. You'll no longer feel like Crohn's is running your life. Instead, you'll feel empowered, informed and supported. All you have to do is book in that call. So what are you waiting for? Let's stop taking advice from those who haven't gone through what we've been through and don't understand the physical and mental impact a chronic illness like Crohn's disease can have. Because, to correct an old cliche, an apple a day will not always keep the doctor away, especially if it still has the skin on it. Let's finally get you on the right path towards understanding your condition. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye for now.